What's your timeline for events? When do you think they first got together?
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
1949. A year ago.
What you just heard was Silas Brown, Audrey Erickson, and Hannah Erickson. The Erickson sisters have been elusive characters in this investigation. I'd been tipped off early on that as good friends of Sophie, they may have some key information, but it was difficult for me to track them down. Finally, Silas Brown, brother of Josh Brown, who you heard in a previous episode, was able to get in contact with them, and I got a short interview. Let me take a second to address the claims in the clip you just heard. First, I was not able to substantiate Silas's claim that they started dating, quote, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Specifically, the galaxy far, far away part seems unlikely, but again, I can't rule it out. I was able to rule out the date Audrey gave, of 1949. Checho and Sophie would have to be at least in their mid-90s for that to work, and the truth is, they just aren't. But where the clip gets really interesting is what Hannah says, that they've been dating for a year. This lines up with some accounts that I've heard, but not all of them. Because although almost everyone I've talked to thinks that they're probably dating, none can say when it started.
Are Joseph Ceci and Sophie Hathaway dating?
I don't know if they're actually dating.
Yes!
I would say they probably are.
Now, it's a very complicated existential question.
I would say it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I mean, I guess the question, we have to back up a second there.
From Milne Productions and MC203 Studios comes Will They, Won't They? Episode 3, Summer, Winter, Spring, Fall. You may be wondering why I've yet to take you through a comprehensive timeline of the supposed Joseph Ceci-Sophie Hathaway relationship in this podcast. The truth is, the order of events is pretty messy. In this episode, I'll be compiling what I know from eyewitness accounts and rumors of rumors. This will at least give us a roadmap for where we've come and where we're going. As we established last episode, both Checho and Sophie, as well as the Ceci and Hathaway families, have a significant amount of history. Throughout that time, as far as I know, no one ever claimed they were dating. Not until 2023. The first inklings I have of this relationship are a tip from a rumor apparently started by Carolyn Ceci, sister of Joseph Ceci, that Checho and Sophie, quote, had their 1-year anniversary sometime in February. That would put the start date of their relationship in winter of 2023. When I first talked to Josh Brown, his timeline was somewhat similar, although not exactly the same.
When we went on a youth group trip, there's a time where they said, never have I ever had a boyfriend. Sophie sat down. I was not paying attention to whether Joseph sat down or got up, indicating if he did get up, then that would mean that he wasn't thinking of himself dating Sophie. Now, this was a year ago, and they were kind of dating then, but I'm not sure. I should have been paying more attention to that. But that was actually my first instance that she was dating someone, was that she sat down and didn't get up with the rest of the homies.
This youth group event he mentioned was held in early March of 2023. According to Josh, Sophie at least considered herself dating at this time. So they started dating in early 2023. Case closed? Not so fast. In a second conversation I had with Josh that I'm not able to play on the record, he gave strong evidence to show that Sophie did not believe she was dating until after prom 2023 in April. Here's what Luke said.
I heard the rumors from my siblings sometime a little while before prom. There's a couple of options that could have happened. One, they weren't actually dating, but it was just some like noise about it in their families, and so the siblings told my siblings incorrectly. So that could have been the case. Yeah, I think either they weren't officially dating, but there had been some noise about it, or very shortly after they did start dating is what I would say, because those rumors kept coming. Like, it wasn't like they stopped. They might have been incorrect at first, but I think eventually they were confirmed sometime before prom. Spring charge is a little close.
I guess it's possible that Luke's rumors that he mentions here as being a little before prom could have been all the way back in February, but it seems more likely that he's talking about March or maybe even April. Let me clarify that as an attendee of the 2023 prom, I saw no indication that they were dating, and I didn't even hear rumors about it until significantly afterward. The start date gets even more confused if you take it outside our inner circle.
I just heard a while ago that they were dating.
Like how long ago, approximately?
Like 6 months ago.
But let's go with about a year ago in the spring of 2023 as the official start date. If the lack of physical evidence is an abundant problem now, it was even more so back then. I have no accounts of evidence before Calvin's, which you heard in the first episode of this podcast, which took place in December of 2023. Even proponents of the relationship can't point to anything until more recently. Here's Corey Toff in a recent interview saying that Checho may be experiencing the, quote, girlfriend effect.
I mean, he is looking like sharp these days, maybe, but I don't know if he's not always looked sharp, so I have no idea. It could be a girlfriend effect.
Corey specifically uses the term these days, saying he's only noticed this very recently. All reports I've received of hand-holding and physical touch have come in the last 6 months. Here's Luke again talking about the only dates he knows they've been on.
I have heard of secondhand dates. Okay, so this is another thing. Like, other people seem to think they have evidence. That's what I'll say. Like, for example, I heard a little bit of scoop from a Carolyn Ceci, who was in town a couple weeks ago. She talks about how Joseph took Sophie out somewhere for Valentine's Day.
He's talking about Valentine's Day of 2024. Luke, as close a member of the community as any, has heard of one date almost a year after the supposed beginning of their relationship. Clearly something's wrong with the timeline. Either large motions are happening undercover without the knowledge of anyone in the community, or maybe the whole thing is just rumors. Without evidence, it's impossible to tell. But there is one human-sized piece of evidence I haven't talked about yet. That's next episode. Will They, Won't They is a production of Mill from MC203 Studios. Will They, Won't They is produced, written, and hosted by me, Micah Foster. Our theme music is composed by Joshua Brown. Special thanks to Sophie Hathaway.